Good morning, everyone. It's morning here in good old England. I don't know where it is where you are whenever you're watching this video. You could be in England watching this video, not in the morning. I don't know, but it's morning here and it's a bloody cracking one. Now, don't worry, I monitor the comments. I do watch them, read them, and I do reply. Now, one of the concerns that some of you lot have been having, now if you're a beginner, right, you might not have thought about this, or maybe you have, it's the sort of thing I think about as well, is if I buy this, what if it breaks? You know, what happens if it breaks? Can I buy parts to repair it? Can I mend it? Is there, parts availability? And I don't just think that for RC cars, I think that for anything that I buy. Yeah, everything I buy, lawnmower. If I buy a lawnmower, I think, what if it breaks? Can I buy a part to repair it, A strimmer, a vacuum cleaner. When I was buying a vacuum cleaner for indoors, because I do all the hoovering and things like that, the missus is not really interested in that kind of stuff. So I was buying one and I thought to myself, well, this is all very well, but what if it breaks? Can I repair it? So, you look at things like that, don't you? Some people think about that, some people don't. Depends what kind of person you are. But people who do know what they're talking about, that watch my videos, have said, look, it's all very well that you're trying to get beginners you're trying to join the beginners, yeah? Don't encourage them to spend a lot of money on buying a branded or a well-known, more expensive brand. But if you're joining them and trying to help them with the less expensive, possibly lesser quality nitro cars and doing that, but what about parts? Because a beginner is inevitably going to break their nitro car at some point, and what's the point in helping them or encouraging them to buy a model which they might not be able to repair? Well, listen, I may look ever so slightly daft on the outside, I'm ever so slightly daft on the inside, but I did think about that beforehand. So let's I'm going to do something that I've never really done before, and I don't do it very often. Alright, so you are quite privileged at the moment. I'm going to invite you in. Right, let's go in and have a look on the computer. Yeah, come on, come with me. Alright, here we are. We're in the kitchen now. On the dining table here is the computer. So if we have a look, this is Nitrotech's website. Let's have a little look on Nitrotech, shall we? Now, it is quite important to remember that Nitrotech no longer sell nitro cars, but they do sell the parts still. So we've got HSP. There's quite a lot of HSP stuff on here. See, there's all upgraded bits, there's suspensions, there's aluminium shocks, there's wishbones, exhausts, all kinds of things, and you can load more. And I think I just clicked on that one by mistake, but there's all kinds of bits and bobs on the Nitrotech website for HSP. The prices are what you'd expect, bearings and all kinds of things. But if we go over to Serious RC and we go back to page 1, Serious RC is where I bought that model from. Now on there is, I've chosen the Tyrannosaurus. This is what I've got. This is the monster truck that I'm using for the demonstration purposes of teaching you lot beginners. So look, we've got new shells. If you break your shell, you can buy a new shell. $15.99, that one there, but it's sold out. And then we got £20 for a shell. You can buy the roto start kit for it. You can buy a gearbox. Yeah, you can buy the wishbones, the drive shafts, the pole starts. Very important, pole starts, but they're sold out, but that's okay. Bearings, exhaust. You can buy an aluminium exhaust, so you can buy an upgrade as well. Engines, in case you blow your engine up, $75.99. Loads of glow plugs. The one-way bearings, the air filters, the shocks, the fuel coolers. A lot of the stuff is sold out for some reason, but hopefully they'll just get new, maybe they haven't. I did tell you, it's a bit of a boom at the moment. There's suspension parts, there's wheel nuts, you can get upgraded ones, obviously, all different colours, blue mainly. Radio lid, an aluminium anodized radio lid there. These aren't just spare parts, these are upgrade parts as well. Look, you can get a cylinder head, you can get a flywheel, you can get, look, clutches, bells, you can get the whole VX Nitro engine with glow plug, exhaust and air filter there, the whole lot, all in one. Another roto start kit, a nitro tank, the handle, there's the handle for the little handle thing, brake parts, there's all kinds, the front bumper, rear bumper, the brake rod kit, whatever you want to call it, body posts, more drive shafts and all kinds of, look, these are all just standard plastic ones now. These are not upgrades, these are all just the standard plastic things. They're all going on here. So there's loads and loads of parts. Well, maybe not loads and loads, but there is, look, exhaust manifold, you know, diffs, you know, there's all kinds of things. Even the fuel line, the exhaust, the VXR engine complete with the standard exhaust. So there's loads and loads and loads of parts. What's this one here? We've got another one. I just googled HSP parts this time, and we got RC Hobby Centre. They've got some HSP parts. Look, HSP. They're all the same stuff really as Sirius RC. The prices are going to vary depending what shop you go to, probably, because each shop puts their own markup on to try and make what they want to make. But you've got, look, there's only 2 pages on this RC Model Centre, not as many as Sirius RC. HSP parts here, look, loads of parts. Now in my opinion, there's enough parts here for a beginner, you know, to mess around. And that brings me on to another topic. Upgrades. Can you buy upgrades for your HSP monster truck? Of course you can. You've just seen them all. Someone said to me, it's all very well, you know, trying to join the people that are buying these less expensive, expensive. I can't bloody speak. I think I need to buy some speak drink. Anyway, maybe I should drink some nitro fuel. Maybe that'll help. Anyway, so people are saying, it's okay, yeah, people are going to buy these less expensive nitro cars to try and get into the hobby because they want to be cheap, they want to be tight, they don't want to spend a lot of money, which is fair enough. And like I say, I'm trying to help you do what you want to do. But when people are saying, what if they want to upgrade it? You know, they're stuck with what they've got. Well, as you've seen, that ain't true, you know. Listen, for years and years, I have been. See, I'm not against these. Yeah, I'm not against, you know, Chinese brands as such. My philosophy, right? My philosophy has always, pretty much always, been what you're buying. Is it value for money to you? Yeah, that's the thing. Because a lot of the time, it used to be if you buy cheap. Well, it still is, really, kind of, in a way. But it does depend on you. But anyway, if you buy cheap, you buy twice, all right? Well, these aren't really cheap anymore, but I wouldn't say £200 for that is cheap. I would say it's a lot of money, and it's still an investment. But the thing is, when you've got to make it relative. It's got to be relative. You've got to compare. So I think a brand new Savage, I looked it up last night, it's about 475 quid, I think. They used to be a bit more. They must have gone down a little bit. Anyway, about £475, right? So if you wanted to go and buy yourself a new one of these, you're looking at about 475 quid. Call it 500, right? Because you can have postage and things probably on top. Maybe not. Some places do free postage if you spend over a certain amount these days. Anyway, that's still a lot more than the £200 you're going to be spending on that, right? So you've got to weigh it up. Is that worth it to you? Yeah, that 200 quid. Is that going to satisfy you, you know? And the thing is, these days, I think it is, you know. If that's what you want to spend your money on, I think it is. And you've got a lot of options now. And the way I'm looking at it is, as I've said before, and I've said this before, and it's still the way I think, yeah, because it's no secret. I've got HPI, I've got Hobeo, I've got Traxxas. I haven't got a lot of cars, I've got one of each. I don't like a big collection, I don't like lots of stuff everywhere. It might seem like I do, but I don't. It's just kind of what happens, and then I'm always sitting there going, for God's sake, why have I got so much stuff? You know, so I thin things out, and I keep one of what I like. So, anyway, we're going off topic again. John! Why do I keep going off topic? I know. What John said, I can't help it. It's just me. I just keep talking about stuff. I kind of go off on little roads, you know. If we ever go on a journey or everything, I come to a road, I'm like, oh, let's just go down there. Let's just go over there, you know. Where am I supposed to be going? Straight ahead? No, let's go over there. You know what I mean? It's mad. Anyway, so my point is that I'm trying to make a point, and I'm not making it. So people are going to buy these ones. You know, you can't. You can't stop them from buying these. Yeah, maybe you're a beginner and you're looking at buying one, and maybe you've just ordered one of these, or maybe not this particular one, but you've ordered a HSP, or I think HSP are the. I think they're the. I don't know if they're the only. I can't say they're the only. Less expensive. I'm not going to keep saying cheap because these aren't cheap. They are a lot. £200 is a lot of money, but they're less expensive than the others. So I think these are pretty much the only less expensive Nitro brand that are about. There are going to be other ones, but listen, I'm not bloody going to sit there looking at everything on the internet and trying to find out where everything is. But everywhere you go, you find a cheaper. Oh, I said it, didn't I? The cheaper. I got it right. Cheaper. The less expensive Nitro cars. They're normally HSP. All right. Normally HSP. There might be a HSP that's been rebranded as something else, but they are one of these. So people are going to buy them, and you know, I don't think we should say to them, what you've done is you've made a massive mistake. You shouldn't buy that. You need to get rid of that, and you need to go and buy one of these, all right, or one of them over there or something. Now, I don't think that's a good idea, because what it is, it's going to discourage a lot of you, all right. And looking around now, parts is an abundance for these things. I mean, as I said, it is worrying if you buy something, you make an investment, you spend your 200 hard-earned pounds on one of these, and then you break it, and then you can't repair it, and you're stuck with it as it is. You can't repair it, but you can. So I think these are a good way to go if it's your cup of tea. But as I've said, if you've got the budget, yeah, I would say skip that, get rid of that. If you've got the disposable budget, you can spend £475, call it 500, and it ain't going to affect you in any way. You've got that to spend on a hobby, on your first Nitro car, for example. Definitely go for a new Savage or a second-hand one. I spent a lot of time pushing second-hand stuff. That brings me on to the next wave of comments, and I've also thought it myself. By the way, I don't take any of these comments negatively. I've had a few people say don't take the comments to heart. Listen, I don't take anything to heart. Every single comment that you lot leave me is a positive comment. Even the ones that are left for the purpose of being negative, to me they're positive because they're a comment. Yeah, I like comments. Anyway, back to the topic. People have, you know, I've said it as well to myself, you know, I spent a long time pushing second-hand cars. I've always said to you, don't buy new, go and buy yourself a second-hand one. You save a lot of money. I know. I'll talk about it in a minute, don't worry. You save a lot of money. You're not buying something, you know, there's already something that you want, it's already been made, it's there. If you're buying a new one, you're buying more plastic, aren't you? Most of them are made of plastic these days. You're buying more plastic, which it can't be good, you know. So buy what's already been made, it's already out there. And, well, the main thing is the money you're saving. I've always pushed that. But the thing is, these days, and you can see it however you want, you can see it as a negative. I don't see it as a negative, I just see it as a fact of what it is. I think people are struggling. It's probably half of it is people are struggling money-wise. So they're rummaging around in their houses, thinking, what can I sell? What can I sell to make some money? I need some money. I can't afford the bloody gas bill. I can't afford this or whatever. So they're rummaging around in their houses, coming across their old Nitro cars, yeah, and thinking, oh, bloody hell, that's been under the bed for 20 years. Oh, I'll stick it up for 150 quid. Yeah, cost me £300 20 years ago. I'm going to stick it up for 150 or 200 quid. I'll get that for it. Yeah, so whereas it used to be sort of, I don't know, between 5 and 10 years ago, you could go and get one of these Savages, second hand, been underneath someone's bed, on top of someone's wardrobe for 5 or 6 years, or 10 or 20 or whatever. You can get, I mean, I've got them for £8 before, 8, 9, £10. You know, I've literally walked up to people, give them a £10 note, and I've walked away with a Savage, a toolbox, you know, all kinds of things. because that's what this channel was built on, doing that. You can't really, they are about, but it's not really what it used to be anymore. Everybody, if you go on eBay, everyone, you get the odd rare one now and again, there's like 30 quid or whatever, but everyone wants top dollar and more for their second-hand Nitro cars. And the problem is, it used to be worth it because if you was a beginner and you didn't know what you were doing, you didn't have a clue, you didn't know how the engine worked, you didn't know how you was going to get it running, you didn't know anything about the electrics, you didn't know anything, you know. So I could say, go and buy a second-hand one, and you can learn with that, because if you break it, it's not the end of the world. You can buy a new part, and you're not breaking £500 worth of car, you're breaking 10, 20, 30 pounds. You've invested 30 quid. If you bought it for 30 quid, regardless of what it's worth, you might have bought a car for £30 and it might be worth to someone else, the market value might be 80 or 90, but you've got it for 30. So you've invested 30 quid, all right? Anyway, you're not breaking a lot of money, you're breaking something which isn't the end of the world. But if you go out and you buy a second-hand car, which has already got its problems, it will have problems, yeah? Because if somebody sells a car, listen, you've always got to assume that there's problems with a second-hand anything. Real car, lawnmower, strimmer, computer, mobile phone, Nitro car. If someone is selling it second-hand, assume there's problems. Why do people sell things? Because there's a problem with it and they don't want to repair it. They've had enough of it. They're sick of it. Not always, yeah? Not always. I mean, I'm sure we've all sold stuff that is perfectly fine, but we just don't want it anymore. But you can't assume that it's fine. You need to assume that even if they say, oh, it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, it runs like a dream. Assume that there is problems. Whether the person selling it knows about them or not, there will be a problem. Just assume that. Because then when you find there is no problems, great. If you think that it's brilliant and then there's a problem, you're going to be like, for God's sake, I thought it was all right. Right. Let's come back on the road that we were going down. Come off that other track, go on this straight road again. Right, there we go. John, stand there. That's where I'm aiming for. Thank you. So, I used to do that. I used to push second hand, and then I'd say to people, look, get a second hand one, spend a tenner, 20 quid on it, and you can learn from that. You can learn with it. And then later on, if you want to, you can go and spend a lot more money, hundreds of pounds, on a brand new one, when you know what you're doing and you're less likely to break it. But you're not going to get frustrated with a new one, because you're less likely to get frustrated with something that costs you less money than if it cost you a lot of money. If you spend £500 on a brand new Nitro car and you just can't get it to start, you're going to be pretty upset probably. Most people, depends how level-headed you are. Me personally, I couldn't give an uncle's monkey because I'll get there eventually. But some people don't have any attention span because they're stuck on social media and all this bollocks these days. They've got no patience whatsoever. They get it, won't start, got the ump, kick it down the road and get the ump and spread a load of bad information on the internet about it. Whereas if it cost you 10 or 20 quid and you can't get it to start, you're just going to go, oh, for God's sake, this ain't very good, is it? Oh well, let's go somewhere else. You know, so that's what I used to do. But anyway, yeah, I do still push to go and buy second hand, but just don't spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds, yeah, on something that doesn't work. One of these Savages, for example, yeah, second hand, 20 years old, second hand or newer. Personally, if it's fully driving, yeah, nothing, it runs okay, the electrics are truly okay, and it's got a transmitter and everything with it, comes with radio gear. Depending on which one it is and the actual physical condition of it, regardless if it works okay or not, maybe 200 to 250 maximum is what I would pay. Not that I would buy that, but I would value it at that. If it's been in someone's shed, yeah, if it's been in someone's garage or under someone's bed or on someone's wardrobe or something like that for 10 or 20, 15 years, whatever, and they're selling it as, last time it ran when it was put on the wardrobe or under the bed 15 years ago, yeah. Oh yeah, it worked fine 15 years ago. But have you tried it since? No, no, no. It's covered in dust and dog hair and everything else. It's worth what it's worth to you, but I wouldn't pay any more than 30 or 40 quid for that. Personally. Yeah, because you could spend 150 quid on it and then find out that the engine's had it. So you got to spend some money repairing that. That could be whatever it might be. It could be up to 100 quid. The servos might have had it. There's another 60 odd or whatever quid, depending what you buy. Depending what you buy. I know you can get cheaper ones or more expensive ones. What I'm trying to say is, if you spend top dollar, you might have to spend more money. If you spend less money, and you have to spend some money on it to get it working, that's fine, isn't it, eh? That's just a long way around of saying to my point is, you need to weigh things up to what's worth to you. Anyway, I think we've really gone off topic with this one, haven't we? Blimey O'Reilly. Anyway. I think you get what I'm trying to say though, don't you? I think you understand. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I don't think, there are plenty of parts available for these. I don't think it's a bad option for you if it's what tickles you. If you've got your mindset that you want a new one but you don't want to spend a lot of money, one of these types of cars, a HSP one, isn't a bad option these days. I don't think. Parts isn't a problem. There's loads of them. You saw it for yourself. There's probably other shops that do sell the parts as well. And also, a lot of us use HSP glow plugs in all of our other cars anyway. If you go and buy a glow plug, it'll be a HSP, probably. I mean, even when there was model shops, actually physical shops close to me, when I went in to buy some glow plugs, they were selling HSP glow plugs, So there's nothing wrong with them, they're perfectly fine. There's loads of parts available, there's loads of upgrades, there's aluminium parts. Whether the quality of them is any good, I don't know, but listen, it's going to be relevant to what it is, yeah? You shouldn't expect this to be as good quality as one of these, or as a Traxxas, or a Hopwe, or a Mugen, or anything like that, because the quality will be relevant to what the price is. But, I don't think these are that bad, but the time will tell, and just because I'm sort of pivoting a little bit in what I'm saying to beginners, to you lot as a beginner, if you're a beginner, it doesn't mean that the old thing isn't still the same. Do you know what I mean? You just need to be a bit more wary. I feel really, really bad for people. I mean, don't get me wrong, maybe I'm a little bit of a hypocrite, I don't know. When I sell a Nitro car, I do ask as much as possible for it, because I want to be able to buy the next one, yeah? But I think what you need to do, like I say, I feel really bad for people that they're going out on eBay or somewhere, or on that Bookface marketplace, wherever it's called. I don't go on that, it's poison, just don't go on it. But go on it if you want to, if you like a bit of poison now and again. Eat a bit of a poison apple. But they go on there and they see a car they like and they spend 150, 160, 170 pounds on a second-hand Savage that hasn't ran in 15 years. And I think, blimey O'Reilly, man, that's a serious bit of investment for something that you don't even know if it runs, for a beginner, that is, for a beginner. If for example, I'm not saying I know that much when it comes to the world of Nitro RC. There's a bloody plethora of things they're the size of Mars that you can learn. But if you know what you're looking at, you can, even if it hasn't run for 15 years, if you know what you're looking at, you can get a gauge and be like, okay, it looks like that is going to be a good running car. So the £150 isn't such a big of a hit, because it looks on the face of it like it's going to be okay. But if you're a complete beginner, you haven't got a clue what you're looking at, you could be looking at a block of cheese and you wouldn't even know the difference, then don't go spending 150 quid on the second hand one. But then again, £200 on a brand new one, you're spending £50 more, but it's brand new, and it does come with a warranty and a guarantee from the shop. I know what you're going to say. that might be hard to claim, this and that and the other. It will be difficult to claim, and I don't recommend that you try and claim from a warranty. Probably the only way that you'll ever get a claim on a warranty is if you haven't touched it and it's actually faulty or broken in the box. Maybe you when you unbox it, this is all broken or something, I don't know. That's the only probably way you're going to get it, because you can tell if it's been driven and broken, or you can tell if it's never been used, never been started, but that's broken. Probably shouldn't really say go down the warranty route of things, but something's brand new, the shop has an obligation of some kind of warranty in England. I don't know about other countries, but it has. And we're probably going to get a load of political lawyers come on the comments now going, actually this is that, but that's quite handy because it teaches us stuff, so do that. Anyway, I think there we go. I've had a little bit of a chat about the parts and things, and as I say, nothing is a negative comment. Please don't ever write a comment and think that it might come across negatively, because I'm telling you now, it won't. Alright? Personally, I've got a shell as thick as a bloody tortoise. Yeah? Things just, I don't give an uncle's monkey. Every single comment I see is a positive comment, okay? Doesn't matter what it is. You could turn around and say, listen, you are an absolute cock. Why are you putting these on your channel for? You're poisoning the channel. Well, maybe so. Thank you very much. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. So I encourage you, anything you want to write about anything, please put it, because we can all learn from it. So yeah, there we go. If you're a beginner, don't worry about parts, okay? Don't worry. As you've seen, do your own bit of research, go on the websites and all that. Oh, quickly, better touch on something. I don't know if I've got the instruction manual here. I might have it. Where's that box? There it is. Right, just touch on this, because this was commented by a couple of people. So when I bought this this monster truck from seriousrc.co.uk, now they don't respond. All right, I don't know anything about them, but they don't respond to messages or emails or whatever. Well, they haven't responded to me. Now, when I was reading through these instructions, I mentioned in the other video that I disagreed with some of them, and a lot of you disagreed as well. A lot of you that know what you're talking about did disagree with some of these instructions, and I think some of it's going to make it more complicated for some people. The running in process is marginal, not majorly important. What they've written isn't that far out. I mean, everyone's different with the running in process, but when they were talking about the low speed needle in the troubleshooting, this troubleshooting as well, troubleshooting section, if the engine won't start, they was talking about the low speed needle, and they were talking about never touch the high speed needle. You should never touch the high speed needle. What's that all about? So listen, there's going to be a whole video, don't worry if you're a beginner. I'm going to go through everything you need to know. It might take a bit of time, so you're going to need a bit of patience, but I'm going to go through everything you need to know about your engine. But it's a common thing. If you know what you're doing with the engines, you can touch it, you can do whatever you want with those needles, yeah, because you just get a bit of a feel for it. If you're a computer programmer, for example, you know, and you probably teach someone to do this a certain way, but you know yourself, you can do other ways. You know, there's more than one way to skin a cat to get the result that you want, but you won't teach that person that thing because it's more complicated for them. It's the same sort of thing for carburetors, okay? So what they've put to adjust the low speed needle to get it to start, it may be true, but everyone knows that the high speed needle is the one that you go to, because the high speed needle, the high end needle, has a bit of a wider effect on the engine. So if it won't start, you adjust that one rather than the low end. I can kind of see where they were going when they were writing this, but I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's right for people who are beginners, you know, and they know that these cars are going to go to beginners because well, they're just the type of car that goes to a beginner, and they've gone to the trouble of writing their own instructions. This is written by Serious RC, not by HSP, you know. So yeah, It says here, if you have any trouble on eBay, or contact our live chat on their website. Well, I went on their live chat and they've still not responded, and it's been about 3 days, so I don't know what that's all about. Serious RC, not digging at you, but it is what it is. They seem like a nice shop. No idea, I've never come across them before until I found this car, but there you go. So I have mentioned to them about the low speed needle and the high speed. I said I recommend that you look at that, because that may cause some people to have a bit of trouble with the car. If they can't get it to start and they're playing around with the low speed needle, it might, you know, they want to do the high speed really, and you're telling them it tells you to adjust the low speed needle when tuning the car and don't touch the high speed. Well, if anything, you want to do the opposite. If anything, usually you would adjust both. You would adjust the high speed first, get it somewhere close to where you want it, and then you use that low speed needle to fine tune the running of the car, but also to get the tick over right. And then you use the tick over screw to adjust the gap. Everyone's obsessed with gaps. I don't really like fuel in that gap debate, but you do adjust the gap to get it where it is, and you use a low speed needle to get the tick over right and the low end running of the engine, the low RPM running of the engine. Anyway, that's for a different video. But some of you commented and you were saying to me, you should really contact that shop and tell them to amend their instructions because they're giving out bad information. I have contacted them, as yet no reply. It's been 2 or 3 days, no reply, but don't worry, I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. Maybe you should contact them as well. If you've bought one of these and you've got this set of instructions, read it and see what it says. If it says the same thing as this one, maybe you should send them a message. 2 or 3 people sending messages, maybe they'll read them and go, oh bloody hell, let's revisit the instructions and retype them. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. Has this been helpful? Hopefully. You never know. You never know, do you? But loads more coming up with that little car. So far I've filmed a few videos. We've done a bit of running in, didn't we? Done flooding, what to do if it gets flooded. You know, that's generic stuff though regarding the whole of Nitro. But anyway, thanks for watching, you lot. There's loads coming up. I've got to go now, otherwise I'll stand here and talk to you for bloody hours anyway. So loads coming up. If you like it, please tell me you like it. And apparently, right, I don't know what this is all about, apparently you can hype these videos now. Don't know what it does. I don't know, no idea what it does. I've done a little bit of research. Apparently it's a good thing. If you like any of my videos, hype them, see what happens. I don't know what'll happen, but press the hype button and it might go up somewhere. I honestly don't know. I tried hyping someone else's video and it just did something. I don't know what it done, so it's crazy. I'll see you later. We might go and run the Savage at some point as well. Treat people nicely, don't take other people for granted. Yeah, let's all just have a nice happy life together, and before you know it, we'll all be zipping around with Nitro cars. We'll go down the street, go, hey John, he'll have his Nitro car, and he'll come back and he'll go, hey Manuel, and he'll have a Nitro car. We'll all be buzzing around with Nitro cars, back like it was years ago. Cheerio, all the best, you lot, take care.